Dear brothers and sisters, today, we embark on an extraordinary journey of faith, where we will find important confirmations about what happens at the moment of death and immediately after. Don't miss this video and watch it until the end, as we will hear the extraordinary words of Natuzza Evolo, which I am sure will deeply touch you. Imagine being in the small town of Mileto in Calabria in 1940. It's June 29th, the feast of Saints Peter and Paul the Apostles. In this quiet town, an extraordinary event is about to change the life of a young girl forever and arouse the interest of the entire community and beyond. The protagonist of this incredible story is Natuzza Evolo, a simple girl from Parvati, whose mystical experience has left an indelible mark on the collective memory. This is the story of how, through suffering and faith, Natuzza had experiences that led her to see heaven and God, becoming a spiritual reference figure for many. But her story does not end here. Continue reading to discover the mystical phenomena and the extraordinary revelations that the deceased have confided to her. On June 29, 1940, Natuzza Evolo received confirmation from the Bishop of the Diocese of Mileto, Monsignor Paolo Albera, in the private chapel of the prelate. During the ceremony, when she was anointed with chrism oil, Natuzza felt an icy shiver down her spine and almost fainted. Returning home, pale and troubled, she recounted the incident to Mrs. Alba Coloca, at whose family she was a guest. Alba, along with another guest, Mrs. Concetta, discovered a blood cross on Natuzza's shirt. In the following days, the blood effusions continued, forming various designs. The news spread quickly within the community and beyond the regional borders, attracting the attention of journalists and curious onlookers. Bishop Albera, concerned, informed the founder of the Catholic University of the Sacred Heart, Agostino Gemelli, but the latter's response was skeptical, reducing the phenomenon to mere manifestations of hysteria. The most sensational event occurred a month later. The Madonna, who had been appearing to Natuzza since the late 1920s, predicted that on July 26th she would experience apparent death. Natuzza did not fully understand the meaning of this prophecy and warned those around her that she would die on the day dedicated to Saint Anne. On July 26, 1940, Natuzza fell into a deep sleep that lasted 7 hours. During this period, she had an extraordinary vision that she later recounted to her spiritual fathers and neighbors. Natuzza found herself in a wonderful place, described as a dome as wide and round as a square. Upon waking, she said she had been in heaven, in the presence of Jesus, who asked her to bring souls to him, to love and pity, to love and suffer. She described a wonderful light creating 1,000 colors, and the presence of many souls of the deceased in prayer. After this experience, Natuzza's life changed radically. She dedicated her existence to serving others, particularly the less fortunate and the suffering. She continued to manifest mystical phenomena, such as blood effusions, and developed a particular ability to communicate with the souls of the deceased. This gift attracted even more attention and devotees from all over Italy. Throughout her life, Natuzza Evolo had extraordinary experiences of communication with the souls of the deceased. Many witnesses recounted receiving messages from Natuzza from their deceased loved ones, messages that often contained details known only to the family members. This phenomenon consolidated her reputation as a mystic and strengthened the faith of many who turned to her for comfort and spiritual guidance. Let's now listen to part of the 1984 interview given by the Calabrian mystic to the well-known Professor Luigi Maria Lombardi Satriani, a Marxist anthropologist who has always praised Natuzza Evolo.
Natuzza, thousands of people have come to you and continue to come. What do they come for? What needs do they tell you about? What requests do they make?
Requests for illnesses, whether the doctor has guessed the cure. They ask about the dead, if they are in heaven, if they are in purgatory, if they need anything, for advice.
And how do you answer them? For example, about the dead. when they ask you about the dead?
For the dead, I recognize them if I saw them, for example, 2 or 3 months before. If I saw them a year ago, I don't remember. But if I saw them recently, I remember them. Through the photograph, I recognize them.
So they show you the photograph, and you can also say where they are?
Yes. Where they are. If they are in heaven, in purgatory, if they need anything, if they send any message to their relatives.
Can you also convey messages from the living to the dead, to the family members?
Yes, also from the living.
But when a person dies, can you see them immediately afterward or not?
No, after 40 days.
And where are the souls during these 40 days?
They don't say where. They've never talked about this.
And can they be in purgatory, or in heaven, or in hell?
Or in hell, yes.
Or also in some other place?
They say that purgatory is on earth, where they lived, where they committed sins.
Sometimes you talk about the green meadow. What is the green meadow?
They say it's the antechamber of heaven.
And how do you distinguish when you see people if they are alive or dead? Because you see them simultaneously.
I don't always distinguish them, because many times I've given a chair to a dead person because I don't distinguish if they are alive or dead. I only distinguish the souls in heaven because they are elevated from the ground. The others are not. I take them for living. In fact, many times I give them the chair and they tell me, I don't need it because I am a soul from the other world. And then they talk to me about the present relative, because many times it happens that when a person comes, for example, they are accompanied by a deceased brother or father who tells me many things to suggest to the son.
Do only you hear these voices of the dead? Do others in the room not hear them?
No, only I do. I repeat what I hear.
Natuzza Evolo died on November 1st, 2009, but her spiritual legacy continues to live on. The beatification process is currently underway, which could officially recognize Natuzza as a saint in the Catholic Church. The life of Natuzza Evolo is an extraordinary journey of faith, suffering, and love. From the small town of Parvati, she touched the hearts of thousands of people through her mystical gifts and her unconditional dedication to serving others. Her experience of apparent death and vision of heaven remains one of the most extraordinary episodes of contemporary Christian mysticism. Her ability to communicate with the souls of the deceased and her commitment to the suffering are testimonies of a life lived in love and faith. While the beatification process continues, the memory of Natuzza Evolo continues to inspire and guide those seeking hope and comfort. Dear brothers, share your thoughts in the comments, and if you or someone you know has been able to gain information about loved ones who have passed away, thanks to Natuzza Evolo's gift. Your testimonies are important for the entire faith community of the channel. I also ask you, if you haven't done so yet, to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. May God bless us all.